Toby! Toby, wake up! Said a voice, waking me up from my sleep. What? Who's there? I asked to find where the voice was coming from. It's me, Toby. Lyra! I'm so proud of you. Well, we're proud of you. What? How long was I out? Damn it. I remember now. I killed Dad. Set everything on fire. Then blacked out. Lyra! I can't believe it's really you. So, it wasn't me hallucinating when I thought I saw you earlier before the incident. Also, what do you mean by we? She chuckled a bit and said, Huh? Who else? The man who saved you from the fire. The one who, like me, wanted you to kill Father because he deserved to die. He's your new master, Toby, and you his proxy. You became one ever since you did as he commanded, and will now serve him to help cleanse this world from all these worthless humans. A man? Could that be that figure I saw last night before I passed out on the fire? That thing without a face that would stalk me constantly, almost driving me insane? I started to twitch uncontrollably and began to ask, who is he? And what is a proxy? He is the Slender Man. As his proxy, you will serve him from now on and work with the other proxies when needed. You are no longer considered a human, but are no demon either. You are now a proxy and will obey him and kill whoever trespasses this force or gets in the way. You have a purpose now, Toby. He is the father we lack. Someone who will actually be there for you, who won't abandon you. Think about it, brother. You can even kill those who have done you harm. Remember the bullies at school? How they tease you, coming up with the name Ticci Toby for you, due to you suffering from Tourette syndrome? How they'd push you around and beat you senselessly until you bled? Even though you couldn't feel the pain, I know it hurt you inside. You can make them pay, Toby. You can make all of them pay, including Mother, for never doing anything, for being too scared, for calling the cops on you. As I processed everything Lyra had told me, it all made sense. Why I kept hallucinating and hearing all those voices telling me to kill Dad. It was all him. Slender Man. I thought back to all the times those kids hurt me, treating me like an animal, and Mom, never doing much about it. She was always so weak. I began to resent her for it. Sister's right. She has to die. They all must die. They're probably all celebrating, thinking the retarded kid is dead, caused by the fire. And little do they know, I was saved by my new master, Slender Man. You're right, Lyra. I'll do as you and the master wish. I'll make them pay for all they've done. I'll be heading out soon. She smiled in response. Good little brother. Don't forget to wear your gear and take with you what you need for the job. I believe in you. With that, she vanished, and without wasting time, I quickly gathered my mouthguard goggles and, of course, my 2 hatchets. As I made my way into the forest, I heard some voices that weren't very far from where I was. I followed them until I finally spotted 4 kids who appeared to be middle schoolers. They were all laughing and hanging out. I recognized one of them to be the younger brother of one of the kids who bullied me at school, Henry. I don't know why, but all of a sudden I started to feel this rage at the thought and began to hear those voices again telling me, kill them. They deserve to die. Do it, Toby. Do it. They wouldn't fucking stop. They were constantly taunting me. I guess the only way to silence them would be to listen to them. So I did as the voices in my head said, and burst out of my hiding spot, and brutally killed each and one of them with my hatchets, starting with Henry's younger brother. After I was done, I went back to my house, to where my house used to be. Everything was destroyed by the fire. I had no idea where my mom could be, so I headed back to the old abandoned house where I had woken up before. I think I'll be paying Mom a visit tomorrow, once I figure out where she might be. As I was coming back inside the house, I saw Lyra standing in a corner. I still wasn't used to the fact that she no longer looked like her old self. Instead, she looked like a mangled corpse, like how she did the last time I saw her, the day of the crash, after she died. I don't care though. She's still my sister and has always stuck by my side when I needed her most. As I went up to her, I couldn't stop my damn tics and twitching. She smiled and said, I have to say, I'm very impressed on the killings you did today. I have no doubt it'll all be over the news. But no worries, you're safe from the police with us. I replied to her, yeah, I was a bit worried about that. I couldn't get to Mom, though. I'm not sure where she might have gone. Lyra looked as if she was thinking for a bit, then looked at me and said, "Remember Aunt Lori? It would be of no surprise if Mom was staying with her. I mean, they are sisters, and she's the next closest family member I could think of." My eyes widened. "Oh, right. Why didn't I think of that? It's tomorrow, then. I'll go see if she's with Aunt Lori. Hopefully I don't run into Aunt Lori, though. She was quite sweet and wouldn't want her getting in the way." Lyra grinned and nodded, and I hugged her tight just before she vanished once again. I lied on the floor in an attempt to sleep, but like always, it was very hard due to my insomnia. Instead, I just laid there planning on how tomorrow would go, and who I'd go see after Mom. Eventually, the thoughts stopped after several hours, and before I knew it, I was falling asleep. The next morning, I quickly grabbed my gear and headed out to Aunt Lori's home. When I finally arrived, I saw from a distance that Mom's car was parked in front. That was great, as it meant Mom was definitely staying there, or at least spending some time there. I quickly ran and hid behind the house and started looking through one of the windows. I could see that the TV on the news was also on, and noticed Mom sitting there, watching the screen. It seemed that Lyra was right, as my victims from the day prior were in fact all over the news, and I heard my name being mentioned as a possible suspect, especially being that my body was never found in the fire, and the wounds from the victims appeared to be the same that I had inflicted on my dad. I chuckled as I saw Mom's worried face as she saw the news. It was a good distraction, as it allowed me to quietly open the window and see my way inside, towards Mom. She must have felt my presence, and she turned around and gasped at the sight of me. "Toby? Is that you?" I scoffed at her question. Surely, she should recognize her own son, even he was covering half his own face. I decided to speak. "It's me, Mom. I'm just here to finish off what I should have after killing Dad." Her eyes widened as she quickly replied, "Son, you know I love you. You wouldn't hurt your own mother now, would you? I always did what was best for you. I was just scared that I was losing you. All the hallucinations you were having and nonsense words." "No, Mom," I interrupted her. "Sure, you wanted what was best for me. That's why you never stood up to Dad when he was being abusive. Not even for your own kids. You let him hurt us. You knew I was suffering, yet you stayed with him and let the torture go on. Why, Mom? You knew Lyra and I weren't happy, but you were always too weak to do anything. You knew Dad deserved to die, and yet you called the cops on your own son." She started to cry. She said, "I'm so sorry, baby. I knew you were suffering, but I didn't know how to help you. I was just so scared." I interrupted her again, not letting her finish her sentence. "That's the problem, Mom. You were scared. You know, Mom, sometimes not doing anything is worse than doing the damage itself." With that, I lifted up one of my hatchets and plunged it deep into her chest as I watched her one last time, her eyes staring right at me. Soon began to fade along with her worthless, pathetic life. I retrieved the hatchet from her, causing a crunching sound along with a piece of her skin dangling from my now blood-dripping hatchet. I heard a car park outside. I assumed it was Aunt Lori, since her next-door neighbors were far away from her home, so I quickly set my hatchets into my belt and left through the back window to go back to the old house. Surely this time the cops would know it was me, as the next victim was my own mother. When I got back, I didn't see Lyra this time. Instead, there was that same tall, faceless man, or as Lyra called him, Slender Man. Next to him were two males. One of them was wearing what looked like to be a white porcelain mask, and the other would appear to be a black mask with nothing on it but a red frown and red dots for eyes, along with a yellow hoodie. After realizing I was standing there speechless, twitching like an idiot, I spoke. "Slender Man, you're here. Are these guys the other proxies my sister mentioned to me?" I began to hear static noise on my head. I'd hear every time before I killed my victims. Then I heard a voice that I assumed could only be Slender Man's.
"Toby, my child. Yes, indeed. This is Masky and Hoodie. They will from now on be your partners, as you have proven yourself worthy of becoming a proxy. Together, you shall help each other, and myself, cleanse this world from all these insignificant, pathetic lives. You will have more time to get to meet your new partners tomorrow, when you begin your next quest to avenge yourself with those who have bullied you. Now rest, my son.
I began to feel sleepy out of nowhere and fell to the floor as my vision blurred. The last thing I saw before passing out were the 3 silhouettes of my master and new partners. Then I blacked out. I was awoken by a loud voice calling my name. Toby! Hey dude, get up now. We got shit to do. As I opened my eyes and looked around to see who the voice belonged to, I saw it was coming from the man wearing the mask. I'm guessing that was Masky. And I quickly said, All right, I'm up. Where's Hoodie? The mask tilted his head and sighed. He's right behind you, fuckface. Now let's go. I turned to see Hoodie was, in fact, right behind me. I waved to him and he said to me, Don't worry about Tim. He's normally a douche, so I'd recommend you get used to him. Masky looked over at Hoodie and said angrily, Shut up, Brian. No one asked you. If you 2 girls want to stand there and waste time chatting, that's on you. I'm heading to kill regardless. Hoodie said in response to that, You're so childish, Timothy. All the trash talk is really unnecessary. If you're not going to act professional about this, then how are you going to get anything done efficiently? Masky put his palm to his face as he argued. For fuck's sake, dipshit. We kill people. Now how the fuck does it make any difference or any sense on whether we should act professional or not? As long as we're getting the job done. Now, I say you 2 better start moving your asses before I leave you behind. With that, hoping to prevent them from arguing more, I said, Okay, no need for any more arguing. We'll go now. It seemed to work as, without another word, they began to head out, following behind me, of course, as I would be the one to lead them to the victims who were my bullies. Luckily, the town where my school used to be, before I moved to be homeschooled, was small, which meant everyone knew one another, giving me an advantage in knowing where those bastards lived. Our first victim was Isaac. He was a jock at my school, who was also the main one who would attack me constantly with name calls and punches. When we got to his house, we snuck in through the back to check if any windows were open. Fuck, they're all locked. How are we supposed to go inside without raising any suspicions? Masky sighed at my question and in turn replied, Isn't it obvious, dumbass? I'm pretty sure we're all caught up in that. So I guess we'll just break in then. What other choice do we have? It's not like anyone will notice anyway. It's already dark, and most people seem to be going to sleep as most of the windows all look dark. He's right. I remember most of the people in this town seems to have an early curfew of going to bed early. As much as Masky was getting on my nerves, I nodded and proceeded to one of the back doors and jammed the doorknob with one of my hatchets. After it opened, we snuck inside and started to look around for Isaac. He must have heard us, as I heard his voice along with footsteps heading towards our direction. Who the fuck are you guys and why the hell are you breaking into my house? You're all lucky my parents aren't in town right now. Otherwise, my dad would have shot your sorry asses. Now get out, he yelled. I soon felt a rush of anger grow in me when I saw him. All the memories came back. His beatings, the things he'd call me. I fucking hated him, and was finally going to make him pay. How about no? The fun hasn't even started. Remember Toby Rogers? Or should I say Ticci Toby, in case that reminds you better of who I'm getting to. My guess is you do. Well, surprise, motherfucker. It's me. And I'm here to finish off your sorry ass and make you regret every single time you've humiliated me. After listening to my words, Isaac had a look of shock in his face, but before he even got to say a word, I swung my hatchet around, instantly cutting off one of his arms. As he screamed, I couldn't help but laugh. His yells and pleas were giving me an even greater brush to punish and kill. I went on, removing limb after limb with my hatchet until finally I was left with only his head. I waited to hear any last words he had to say, as he coughed up blood, but he could only manage to spit out, Fuck you. I shook my head sarcastically and said, Seems like you still haven't learned your lesson, asshole. If you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. I quickly lifted up my hatchet, removing his head in the process. More blood began to pour out from what was left of his body. Masky looked over at me. Well, I gotta say, that wasn't bad at all, saying as I enjoyed every second of it. Hoodie walked over to us saying, I can see why the master had picked you to be a proxy. Well done. But we should start going now, before anyone finds out. We all headed out, house after house, killing off as many of the people who have once taunted me and made my life a living hell. Lastly, we broke into Ashley's house. She was the most popular as well as the pretty girl of the school. I fucking despised her, and she was the main one who would encourage the bullies to beat me, and would at times even come up with lies about me, so that they find reasons to pick fun at me and hurt me. Although I couldn't feel the pain, I still felt humiliated by how they treated me, like I wasn't even human. As I was stuck in thought, I noticed Masky glaring at me. I twisted and said to him, "So, I guess this is it. The girl lives here." Masky interrupted me quickly. "Well, spit it out, stutter boy. Does it look like we got all fucking day?" "Actually, how about don't say a damn thing, because it'll just waste more time. We all know why we're here, Rogers. Obviously, this bitch was someone who hurt you. So let's get on with it and get the job done." Masky didn't seem to realize how loud he was being until we heard voices and footsteps heading our direction. I instantly recognized them as Ashley's parents. Her mother looked frightened, but her dad looked pissed the fuck off. "Who the hell are you freaks? Get the fuck out of my house before I have my wife call the cops and I beat your fucking asses." As he started heading towards us, Masky and Hoodie went ahead, giving me the signal to finish off Ashley while they take care of her parents. I headed to the other direction, looking into every room to find her, as I heard her parents scream in pain while hearing Masky's maniacal laughs in the background. I opened a door in a bedroom that very much looked to be hers, as I had many pictures of her with her artificial friends, along with other things that seemed bitch-made like herself. I searched every corner of the room until I found her, hiding under her bed. Well, look who I found. It's been a while since we just saw each other. She looked surprised to hear that I knew her from somewhere, and she didn't seem to recognize me with my gear on. "Who are you? Please, don't hurt me." I scoffed at her stupid response as I told her, "Don't hurt you? Tell me, Ashley, why should I spare the person who would constantly bully and torture me, along with others? Do you think making up lies about someone and standing there laughing while they're getting abused is okay? You thought it was funny at the time, right? Calling me Ticci Toby and making fun of my stutter as well. Fuck that. I'm not letting you out of this one that easily." She began to scream, so I grabbed my 2 hatchets and began plunging them at her face over and over until her obnoxious screams finally went silent. Her face was no longer recognizable, and her blood was oozing all over her carpet. Masky and Hoodie came in looking for me and patted me in the back. After staring down at Ashley's corpse, I began to laugh uncontrollably. Masky and Hoodie came in looking for me and patted me in the back, to show that they were impressed with my masterpiece once again. We left our house soon after that, to finally head back to our home. When we got back, we saw Slenderman standing there, as if he had been expecting us. I heard static and then his voice again.
"Toby, your work today has been of great excellence. I must say, for a beginner, you have very much done a splendid job in comparison to Hoodie or Masky when they first started. Because of this, I will have you be in charge, and your new partners will work by your side from now on, whether they like it or not."
With that, he vanished, and I turned around once I heard Masky's voice. "What the hell was that? Hoodie, was I hearing things, or was the Slenderman saying that we will be Ticci Toby's sidekicks? What kind of sick prank is Slender playing on us now? What a fucking joke." Hoodie looked over at him saying, "No, it's not a joke," as I heard it too. "If that is what the master wants, then we will have to stick with that, whether we like it or not. So I'd advise you to comply, unless you want to piss off Slender. That wouldn't be good at all for you, Timothy." Masky growled at Hoodie. "Listen, fucker, I don't give a shit. Got that? I'll do what the fuck I want, when I want. I'm not gonna listen to some stuttering freak and have him give me orders. If you want to kiss ass, then be my guest. I won't let this stupid kid tell me what to fucking do." I'd had enough of Masky's remarks, as they were extremely irritating me, and Hoodie as well, as from what I could tell. So I looked him dead in the eye, clearly, and stated to him, "I don't care what your thoughts are of me, Masky, but as Hoodie said, if you don't want trouble, then fucking deal with it. I'm not gonna put up with your shit. Got that? So either we work as a team, or face the consequences with Slenderman. You're a call, man." Masky looked over at me frustratedly and replied, "Seems like I have no fucking choice then, huh? Well, fuck it then. But I warn you, Hatchet Boy, you won't always be Slender's favorite. I'll make damn sure of that." After that, he stormed off, to who knows where. I simply shrugged and sat on the floor. Hoodie walked over to me saying, "Don't worry about him. He has anger problems. You'll eventually get used to him. Rest up, though. Tomorrow we have training, as the master let me know of it. Good night." He left as I sat there, thinking about tomorrow and contemplating my new life from now on. I couldn't help but think, though, what if all of the voices in my head and my sister telling me to kill are really hallucinations caused by him, the Slender Man, so that I could fulfill his dirty deeds and use my sister and the voices along with my problems to manipulate me? No, I want to believe that's not true. I mean, it's not like I really have a choice to leave anyway. Where would I go? I'd probably be hunted down by Slenderman or the proxies if I even tried to back out and run away. And the police are searching for me as well. Ugh, what am I saying? I'm overthinking too much. At least I could surely say that I was happier in a way. Or at least I thought I was. I mean, I was no longer alone, really, and had a new family, as I could now call them.